All right. All right. Welcome everybody to the return of the happy hour. It used to be on Blog Talk Radio, but I guess we upped it up a little bit here to Skype. I don't even know how the fuck to use Skype. My buddy Chris Phoenix had to help me out on that. And we're using, what is this, Justin.tv right now. So anyway, I have a little different format from the old happy hour. Before I used to have I used to have a bunch of people like calling in at once and everything, but it got too fucking crowded. There was like fucking 40 people talking over each other all at once, and it was pretty lame. Everybody else liked it, so it was kind of over because I've always heard people say, "Hey, when are you gonna bring back the happy hour?" You know, because everybody, since I'm the mayor of drama, I guess I don't know. Basically here's the bottom line. They either don't know how to get me, or they don't get it, or they just don't understand my sense of humor, but fuck them anyway. Anyway, my first guest here is someone I've known a long time. I've known him like 2000 or something like that. So it's like going on almost 14 years now. But it is Mr. Every Night, Mr. 915, G Cute. Welcome to the happy hour. And I am starting on a beautiful Steel Reserve Blackberry right now. Well, not starting. This is my second one. I'm lying right now, right through my teeth. I'm sorry. All my credibility is gone now, right out the tube, or right out the chute here, because I've already down one, and I've just told you, like, oh, I'm starting off with a little happiness here.
Your credibility, whenever I was looking on Facebook and I just saw this status that said I was the guest on your fucking show.
Oh shit! I didn't even know. I don't even know who my guest was going to be. I don't even know. Does anybody else? Are you the only one with Skype? That might be the reason why you're the guest. You might be the only one I know that has Skype.
It's possible.
I don't even know what Skype is.
It's something that can get you in a lot of trouble if you're in a relationship.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, but I'll go into that later, some other time. The jury's not out on that.
I hear you. I'm gonna be in trouble too. I'm sure, because I mean, if I'm gonna be on here, you guys are gonna ask questions or want to have a conversation with me, and I'm telling you, I'm fired from UWA already.
Oh shit.
I don't know why. Like I haven't said anything. Apparently, I've said stuff, and if I haven't, then I'm sure something I'll say here is gonna get me fired. Because if I talk, I'm fired.
Oh well, fuck it. Happens. Anyway, let's just get into the nitty gritty here. A lot of people don't know about GQ that much. He's does towns from here and there. He does 304, does UWA. A lot of people don't know a lot about you. I mean, just explain. I mean, I've known you a while, but I mean, some people don't. So, like, explain like how you actually, first got into the business and everything.
This is a shoot interview now. Okay. Well, I started out as far as indie wrestling goes, because we all did our vices before indie wrestling. Uh, I started out going to shows with Chris Phoenix and with Ryan Reed and Ace Prime and our good friend Graham Bailey, our deceased friend. Um, we just started going to shows. We were big marks and went to XMCW shows. We helped set up the ring and stuff, and then they were like, uh, we knew we wanted to get trained because I mean we'd been okay. I'll pull the cat out of the bag. We did backyard before that together in my mom's backyard, and it was Chris Phoenix, Ryan Reed, Ace Prime, and myself. So I just outed you fuckers, and we did fucking backyard, and then we knew we wanted to get trained. Like when we were doing backyard, we weren't trying to be typical backyarders. We weren't doing trampolines. We weren't doing shit like that. We were guys that wanted to actually fucking work. We just didn't know where to go to get trained, and we were idiots and kids and teenagers, and a lot of teenagers do it. So then we were like, okay, we went to Nitro, and then I actually asked Alan Lynch to train me. At the time, I already had heat with a few guys. I've got heat with a lot of people. Apparently, everybody hates me because I'm a fuck and I run my mouth a lot. But We asked Alan Lynch, and he's like, yeah. So he had us train them. We saved their building. They almost lost the Nitro Community Center until we showed up and paid for all of our training up front. And when I mean we, I mean me and Chris Phoenix. Chris Phoenix paid for Ryan Reed's training and his training, and I paid for Ace Prime's training and my training. So we paid for it all up front. Different prices have been thrown at me of what it could have been, but I think we paid like 250 each or something. Sounds about right. And we all got trained, and then yeah, that's basically how we started. Was with guys like them. It was Allen and Chance Profit and Raw Talent was there, and the dude from Sin City was there. And they had their trainees, T Bone and Max Rock, and those fucking guys that I used to hate. And I take that back. I like T Bone, but I didn't. But Max Rock and I didn't like each other very much. And yeah, so that's how we got started. Once we started there, then of course we went to Lonnie Smith's ICW. Are you familiar with ICW?
I've heard about it. I've never actually seen or been to any of their shows with fucking quotation marks here, but yeah. I mean, how was that? What was it? Was it like in the training room or what?
It was. It was in the training room with a training ring. They had some, like Wes Lynch was there, and Shane Storm and JC. They had some legit guys there, and they basically stuck the trainees in the ring, and the ones they didn't like, they just fucked up. So and laughed at them the whole time, and the ones they actually did like, um, they decided to keep, or keep messing with. Like, I mean, I remember at first the initial thought was I was not going to be there for very long probably, and but Chris Phoenix and Ryan Reed had potential, and Ace Prime was going to be stuck in shows pretty much immediately. And then I showed them a little bit, man. They stuck me in the ring with Wes, and they basically said, if GQ fucks up once, you fuck them up. And then it didn't happen at all. I just wound up getting in the ring with Wes Lynch, and it was actually a decent little thing for what we did. I mean, it wasn't much, but between somebody that's that was probably my second or third time ever being in a ring, um, and that it was fun. But I mean, the That's Right title was the best thing I've ever seen.
That's right title. I mean, what was a that's right title?
It's the That's Right title because basically you're saying that's right, I'm the champion. That was their mid card title, and that was it was almost as good as the hot potato title in XMCW,
I
man.
remember the hot potato title, but that's right.
The minute I got to see Hoda Essay in a match, I was happy.
Oh Jesus Christ! Uh, but I mean, did you get to start any like bookings in XMCW? Did they just say, "Hey, you gotta find your own bookings," or what?
No, but basically, they had already been using Ace with because I mean he was ready. I thought I was ready, but I was an idiot. Like I'm probably still not ready. I thought I was ready, and fucking I got mad about it because they were sticking Ace out there quick, but he was ready to do what he was doing. He was getting squashed and stuff, and they were letting Chris Phoenix and Ryan Reed do some battle royals and stuff, and I just got frustrated and I just went to Freddie's show. Freddie was running BTW over in the West End, and me and Chris Phoenix went down and checked one out. I think Ace Prime was with us too, and then they wound up working there the next week, and then the week after that, I started working there, and after that, that was
Like,
that
what was
became
there in there? I mean, did you like just go to Freddie and say, "Hey, I was been training at XMCW," or I mean, did he just contact you or what?
well. I just it was actually he recognized Ace from an XMCW show because Freddie had been to a couple of the Nitro Community Center shows, and he recognized Ace, and he asked Ace, I believe, and then we mentioned to him that we'd been training, and he knew that I'd been training. Like I had known him for 2 or 3 years before that. Like I tried to go work for him right after I left. I'll just say right after I left the CWA, and I went straight to Freddie. So he knew who I was. He'd seen me around. He knew that I'd had some limited training before, anyways. So as far as I was, it was basically just like he'd already had Ace booked. And I think he'd already used Chris Phoenix, and he was they kind of just were talking about me, and he was like, "Okay, we'll give him a shot," type thing. And then my first match there was the best match in the history of matches. It was a tag match. It was GQ and Chris Phoenix versus Billy Masters and Chris Davidson.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And there was no match. The actual match was we went out there and they said, well, we'll just not even tag him in. So they left me out there and they just knocked me off the apron and beat up Josh for a second and pinned him. And if we weren't rookies at the time, we wouldn't have allowed that shit to happen. But we were just like, what the fuck? So basically, it was just I don't even think they did a move. Like it was just punching and pin, and that was it. And that was the first thing we did. And then after that, we did other stuff with them. Not with them, but I don't remember a whole lot. But I remember like there was one show we did like right after that, and Freddie came out with a Singapore cane and beat the tar out of all of us and left whelps on Chris Phoenix's back and Ace Prime's back, and Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's how that went down.
Yeah, and I know you started working at 304. What was like your? I mean, did Tom McKnight see you like at a BTW show, or is I mean, is that what is your way in, or did you personally know Tom, or?
Yeah, he met me at the BTW show, but I was in no way a big player there. He just knew I could cut a promo, and basically, as far as 304 goes, um, I supported. I helped out. I knew I didn't want to work with Freddie anymore, and I was like, well, it's independent wrestling. I support independent wrestling. I wanted to have the right attitude about the whole thing, so I got Freddie, or not Freddie. I got with Tom, and I was advertising. I was handing out flyers at WWF shows and handing out flyers at other stuff and trying to help him get off the ground with it. And basically, the first show there was some battle royal gimmick, and of course they need extra bodies for the battle royal, so I was in that, and it was so I main evented the first ever Summer Explosion because of that, because it was a battle royal. And I remember I was so stupid. I was trying to get noticed and get and impress Tom because I loved the fact that it was. I like the bar atmosphere. I like being able to go out and say fuck and shit and cock and whatever I want to say. Like I liked being able to look at somebody at a show and not be blackballed because I called them a cunt. So I enjoyed in the with the drunken crowd. I mean, it was just so much fun there. And so that night I went out and I mean I remember I did I put Chris Tyler on the ground. He was working his X.5 in that battle royal. I put him on the ground and I got on the apron and I did a fucking front bump off the apron, made him move and did like a little senton backsplash onto the fucking sand, which I thought sand would be soft because it's the basic element in concrete. It was not fucking soft to do a fucking bump on from the apron. And I got eliminated by the Unholy coming out and spewing his fire.
Oh
It
God.
scared me. It gimmickly scared me, and I had to jump over the top rope because that gimmick was so over with DJ Tom.
I think I'd probably jump over the top rope just seeing Unholy that I'd have to work with.
Oh, poor Penny.
He's a nice guy. I do like. I mean, I haven't seen him in ages, but I always got along with him. Where did you actually? I mean, who did you watch like to learn like more about? You know, because you do kind of good promo. I mean, did you anybody you actually watch? You know, to kind of base your shit off of, or what?
I mean, honestly, it varies. Like when I was doing backyard, I was studying a lot of Joe Gertner promos.
Hmm.
Uh, and then later it was more Shane Douglas and Dusty Rhodes. Shane Douglas was what inspired a lot of my fucking bar show promos. Uh, and Dusty Rhodes and guys like that. And I remember I watched a lot of as far as wrestling stuff goes. I remember which you suggested some of it to me, like Playboy Buddy Rose and stuff was who I started watching
Hmm.
for wrestling. And but for as far as promos go, yeah, that's basically it. It was just like I was a big fan of Dusty. I was a big fan ooh, of course Shane Douglas and Jake Roberts too. As much as I hate to say it, Jake was one of my favorite promo guys. So I
Well,
watched a lot of that stuff.
speaking of Jake Roberts, since we're already on the 304 subject, I guess we got to hit up on future Hall of Famer Jake Roberts and the match you had over there. It's probably the biggest match you had working for 304 Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean it was the biggest, it was the best and worst and biggest moment of my career all at the same time. And I hate talking like it's a career because I'm not trying to put myself over like I'm a big deal or anything because I'm not. I'm a fuck, but whatever. Um, yeah, it was me and Jake, and basically the whole gimmick of me and Jake, which you everybody's heard the story a million times, but it was just a case of Jake wanted to work the guy that made the crowd hate him the most, and Tom said, "Well, I mean, we've got this guy that can work better, and then we've got this guy," and he's like, "No, no, 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 I don't want that. I want the guy uh, that can actually like cut a good promo and just make that crowd want to kill him." And Tom was like, "Well, that's Scott," and he was like, "Okay, that's who I want." So that's how it came to be. Because I think the original guy that he wanted to work him wasn't going to be able to make it, so he was just like, "Okay, well, that's what they had." I mean, I was available. I was the only person that was going to be there for sure that wasn't already in a match somewhere, so it was just a good fit. And yeah, then I went out, and history is history. I mean, there was just a big miscommunication. And I cut the promo. Jake came out. He Jake was trying to break a beer bottle in the back and come out and stab me with it.
Oh Christ!
Seriously. And then he got out there, and then he smacked the piss out of me, and I knew something was wrong from the start because that was not the spot that he called in the back. And then he turned around and he grabs me by my hair and he starts cussing at me. He was like, "Who fucking told you? Who fucking said that you could do that?" And I was like, "The promoter, Tom McKnight, did, dude."
For those that don't know, pretty much GQ goes out there and because I guess he was booked like all week, and I think he may have made it to maybe one of those towns. I don't, if that. And I guess the crowd pretty much thought that he was a no-show and he wasn't going to show up. So GQ gets on the mic, says he's not here. He's been booked all week and showed up to one fucking town that and called him a crack smoking son of a bitch, and that's when his music hit.
Yep, I called him a crack smoking son of a bitch. Got the biggest crowd reaction of the night because as a heel, because I was over as shit as a fucking heel, and I did my fucking job regardless of whether or not he got pissed off. I did my fucking job and made the crowd hate me and made them excited, even more excited to see him than they would have been. And then when his music hit, they popped the biggest reaction of the night. And then he came out, he did that shit, and it ruined me for a little bit as a person because I was a young fucking kid, but it was still like, oh well, it's fucking cool because like it was Jake the Snake Roberts that did it. I still took the DDT from the guy that invented the move. I still can say, I wrestled Jake the Snake Roberts. Most indie guys in this area can. I mean, some guys can, of course, Darkstorm and other guys can, but that's because those guys are legit workers. Guys like me don't get to say that very often. So, um, yeah, like it was great and bad all at the same time. And then when we got in the back, Tom and I got into it because Tom claimed that he never said that, and then I told him he did, and then of course, Tom has a different story from me. I'm not trying to get into that drama bullshit. It's all past us now. But then basically Jake came back, and I basically, like a man, walked over and talked to him, was trying to explain to him, "Hey, man, I don't know what happened out there. It must have been miscommunication." Before I even got the first sentence out, he was like, "Well, promoter didn't tell you could call me a fucking crackhead." And then he slapped me in the face in the locker room, and then he kicked me out of the locker room. He was like, "You get the fuck out of my locker room." And I started to walk away. I was getting my shit packed, and then Brian Masters walks over to me and looks at me, and Brian goes, "Dude, no, you don't leave. This is your locker room. You don't listen to that shit." Of course, he didn't say it to Jake while I was back there. I'm not trying to say, I mean, he might have said something to Jake when I was gone. I don't know. But when I was back there, nobody said anything to Jake. They said it to me as if I'm supposed to stand there and get in a fight with no whatever. And I would have fought him if I had to. But then the head bouncer and owner of the bar, his name's Scott, was back there and he told me I better leave. So I did. And I went out and I sat in the crowd. and I changed out of my gear into my legit fucking clothes in the crowd, and watched the rest of the show, sitting there until intermission, because that was right before intermission. Jake came out for intermission to sign autographs, and I left. And then that night, well, later on, Tom apologized to me, and everything was shibby. I guess he paid me, took me out to. We were going to go to Waffle House, and we're pulling into Waffle House because he's like GQ's fat, so that couldn't happen. So he's taking me to fucking Waffle House, and when we're pulling in, there's Devin Michaels and Jake the Snake in the fucking Waffle House. So we were like, oh shit. And we drove the fuck out of there like a couple of fucking scared schoolgirls and went over to Jolly Pirate and ate donuts because how else can you make a fat man happy? Buy me some fucking donuts. I got
uh,
sick donuts.
but looking back, I mean, if that shit happened to, I mean, of course, obviously it wouldn't have today because from what I gather, Jake's straight right now. But if that kind of thing would have happened today, I mean, how would you actually approached it?
Like if I was told,
If you were working Jake today and you were told, call him a crack smoking son of a bitch on the mic by the promoter, I mean, how would you approached it? Would you gone out there and done it, or would you go to Jake, or would you?
if I'm going to say anything controversial on the mic about somebody, I'm going to walk up to that person and clear it with them and be like, hey, look, I'm going to call you a crack smoking son of a bitch. Is that okay? And you can ask anybody that I've worked lately. I mean, even like Brian Masters. Like I did the Cutes Corner gimmick with him at 304 like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and I asked him. I brought up his daughter and shit in that promo, but I went up beforehand. I was like, hey man, I thought about saying this, this, and this to really get the crowd into it
Mm,
and make sure it was okay with him. And he was like, that's cool. And that's how I would handle that shit now because I'm older and smarter now, and I also know to show respect to the guys that you're going to be working with.
yeah.
So as much as I run my mouth, I'm not. I have a worse reputation for running my mouth than I actually run my mouth. Like I run my mouth, but nowadays it's just calling bitches cunts and stuff at the bar because they usually are. It's not. It's not running my mouth about the boys, regardless of what rumors may happen. I mean, I'll say shit on a promo, but like when I say shit, it's a work. I mean, I don't. I've already had enough heat with people lately, and I'm like, shit, dude. I don't want to have heat anymore. I've got a 3-year-old son, about to turn 4. I've got a steady relationship going. I've got, and then I've already got enough drama because I've got a girlfriend, a wife, and a baby mama. So
All of them. No.
I don't need more drama than I've got. So to the people that say that I'm out there running my mouth, I mean, I'll admit, man. I mean, the UWA thing I was joking about at the beginning of the show. I'll admit there was a kid out there that said something, and I said suck it back to them.
Hmm.
That's what I said. And my mindset when it came to that, and I know I'm jumping ahead of whatever we want to talk about, but my mindset at that show was it's on TV. If I can hear people say it on TV at WWE and their TV PG or whatever, why would it be too off the wall for that? Now I know that that's their boundaries, so I'm going to watch it more and try to be even more family oriented. But I didn't think suck it would be a big deal.
Yeah.
And between that and I mean Chris Phoenix, I think said Chris Phoenix and Ryan Reed said "suck man" because that's something that that's the boys, man. We don't say that shit here.
Yeah.
Uh, that's Eric Steele's thing right there. uh, anyways, but yeah, as far as the Jake Roberts thing, man, I don't regret it. Like I don't have any regrets. I learned from that experience. I do wish it would have went better, but I mean, honestly, I would much rather just have like a second go around. I mean, I don't care how, but if I can get somebody to book it, shit, let there be Keats Corner.
Well, if we can ever get Jake Roberts versus GQ'd again, we need to get that going. But I don't know. Doesn't he have cancer now or something? I mean, I don't know. Is he taking bookings?
I mean, I've seen him. He took a booking like 6 months ago, but that I know of. But that was 6 months ago before he knew about the cancer thing too.
Oh, okay.
What about did we just have someone join in our call?
I believe so.
Hey,
Oh,
is the other person on the line right now?
yeah, she is. No, I'm just kidding. No. I'm just fucking with you. Really, that's just Chris Phoenix. Just he just trying to join in so he can listen, so he can listen better. I guess. That's actually where I'm doing the Skype thing. I'm at Chris Phoenix's house because, as I said earlier, I don't know what the fuck Skype is. I have no clue how to work it. I don't know how I became so computer illiterate over the years. I used to be really good at the shit.
Oh, dude, I'm there too. The only thing I know shit about anymore is cell phones, and that's just because I worked at Best Buy for 3 fucking years.
That's all.
So,
That's all I use. My internet is just my cell phone.
yeah, me too. So, anyways, we were talking about Jake. Do you have another topic you want me to bring up?
Let's see. Well, I know you. I mean, of course, actually, technically, you're working for UWA right now, but there was UWA under prior management before the management they have right now, which was Daredevil, Todd Rowe, Dennis Todd Rowe, Todd Dennis Rowe. Which one's his first name? Is it Todd or is it Dennis?
I think it's Dennis.
Okay, Dennis Todd Rowe. He was promoting UWA before Nada took over. I mean, you got any memories over that place? I mean, I have tons. I mean, that place was just actually fun. I mean, it was outlaw as fuck, but it was fun.
It was. It was outlaw as fuck, and it was fun. I will say, I have a billion memories there. The most fun ones are definitely going to be first time. First thing is going to be the time that I went there because I was actively, if you call, I mean, if you call three once every 3 months actively working for 304 Wrestling. But at the time, UWA was doing 2 nights a week, and I was like, Chris Phoenix is there, and Chris Phoenix is my brother. I love him. Ace Prime was there, and he used to be my brother. No, I'm joking. He still is. He's just we're not as close as we used to be. I mean, but he's my boy. I got no issues with him anymore. Um, Ace Prime, he was there. Ryan Reed was there. Smokey C was there. All the guys that I wanted to work with were there. Besides Brian, I love working with Brian because it's fun. Um, but I was like, I can go there and my mentality at the time was I want more bookings, I want more experience. If I work for 304 and I'm not allowed to work at UWA and I didn't have transportation to make other towns at the time, I was like, okay, I can work for 304 and do one show every 3 months and play professional wrestler every 3 months. Or I can go to UWA, wrestle a smaller crowd for a smaller company, wrestle 2 or 3 nights a week, working with the boys that I love, and still kind of be, I'm not working 5 nights a week. I'm not making towns. I'm not being, as legit as I want to be, but I can go there and I can work a couple nights a week, get more experience, wrestle, and become a better wrestler. So I went down there. Now, when I went there, I was excited, and they actually got a decent rub when I first showed up because I showed up and there was a battle royal plan that night, and I was like, "Hey Todd, you want me to just go ahead and jump ship now?" And he was shocked because I'd been going to shows just to watch, and he was like, "Bullshit." And I was like, "Why?" And I called Tom, and I was like, "Tom, dude," I was like, "I don't want to have any heat with you. I'm just calling to let you know I'm gonna go work for UWA. I hope there's no heat. I just want to let you know up front so you don't think I'm going behind your back and stabbing you in the back because that was his mentality for a couple of the guys at that point that did that."
How did he take it? Did he like respect you more for it, or did you say, "Oh fuck you, go ahead and do whatever you want"? Or, I mean, how did he take it?
When I told him, he took it that way. He said, "Okay, I respect you more for the way you did it."
Hmm.
Then, as soon as Brian and Billy found out, they were fucking pissed at me, and they hated my fucking guts for about a day.
And then Billy goes in there like a month later.
Yeah. But Brian was so pissed, and then Brian was just like, "Well, at least he called and did it the legit way and whatever."
See,
So we'll let bygones be bygones. But then I went and I told Todd, and I was like, "Hey man, I just called Tom and quit. I'm ready." He was like, "Bullshit," and I was like, "No, really, put me in the battle royal." And he was gonna have Dane Bramage win the fucking battle royal anyways, and it
so,
wasn't for anything. It was just a battle royal.
See, going back to about Billy and Brian getting pissed. And I like Billy, and Billy used to be my doorman for the old happy hour. If Billy Ray better be listening to this, but and I like Brian too. Sometimes he can be too much, but I've been told the same thing about myself. But that's always been my problem about wrestling nowadays. People get so fucking deep into politics where they're like, well, fuck him, he jumped ship. We don't even like him on a personal level anymore. Fuck that. I like everybody, despite what everybody thinks about me. Thinks I'm a big drama fucking starter or whatever, the mayor of the fucking drama and everything. Look, if you want to wrestle for Joe Blow over there, cool. Go ahead. I don't give a fuck, okay? Just work for whoever you want. If that's what you need to do to improve yourself, again, hell, when I was running shows and Tom actually finally told Chris Phoenix and Ryan Reed and Smokey C, hey, I don't want you to work for JV anymore. It's either him or me. I told them, I said, look, I'm not telling you who to work for. Uh, just work for whoever you want, and I won't have no beef with you. That's your decision, not mine. I'm not making you to make a decision, but that's your decision. And if you choose him, cool, no big deal.
Yep. I mean, that's basically how I look at it, man. Like, and that's that right there. That's one thing that I don't agree with myself. I mean, I agree with you. I'm saying I don't agree
Mm-hmm.
with that mentality of you shouldn't work for this person because you're working for me. Like, I get it in some ways. Like, I understand it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still like, don't have heat with somebody over that shit. It's work. It's a business. You're supposed to treat it like a business. It's not, oh well, you're not my friend anymore if you're not working for me and you're choosing to work for somebody else. Fuck you. Now, I mean, I'm not saying skipping bookings. If you're booked somewhere, go work for that person you're booked for and honor your commitments.
Yeah.
But don't fucking get mad at somebody because they're going and working somewhere else.
Like,
And that's me.
like last year, of course, I'm sure a lot of people knows me. I did have heat with Gary Dareman for a little bit over some dumb shit, and a lot of people that I actually got along with all of a sudden started resenting me because of that. And I mean, to me, I mean, I think that's just fuckish. That's some fuckerish shit, because that's a word of the day, by the way, fuckerish. Okay, that's some fuckerish shit because I
I
mean,
like it.
that's some fucker shit because like if you're supposed to be my friend, I mean I'm not asking you to take my side or whatever, but don't get mad at me just because I'm mad at someone that you wrestle for. It's like just just do like I do. I mean there's so many times when people are mad at Tom or they're mad at fucking John Cooper. They're mad at those guys. I was like, hey, that's your all's beef, not mine. Okay, just whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I hate it because like fucking, and I still like I get shit because I've read my mouth, especially the one that we all know I've run my mouth about is Freddie Cornell, and God knows he and I have had our issues, and I know he doesn't like me, and I don't really like him, but I mean I don't have heat with him, even though I used to, and I have. And the only time I ever have had heat with him is when he would run his mouth and say he was going to kick my ass or something. More than like,
The funniest thing since you brought up Freddie, talking about the old UWA, I remember you guys, you and Freddie had like a little program going. It was like. I just remember a picture of seeing you two get ready for an arm wrestling contest, and it looked like y'all were getting ready to chow down at a fucking all-you-can-eat buffet.
yeah, yeah. And I remember that program. That was fun. The best part of that program was the Cutes Corner because I did a Cutes Corner there before I ever did it at 304. I did it at UWA. It was Todd Rowe's idea.
hmm
Uh, I did Cutes Corner,
I know. I was a guest one time. I think I destroyed the set.
yeah, and then I did it with Freddie. And my first thing, I just wanted heat. I didn't give a shit what was said. My first thought was, "Hey, Freddie, what's your thoughts on Tom McKnight?" That was the first question at the UWA show. And then fucking Freddie went off on Tom and how he's a disgrace to the business and blah 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 blah. And I was marking out the
then
whole
he's
time.
buying. Then he's buying tickets for him when he got the field house.
Yep. And I mean, that's the way Freddie works, man. I mean, it's Freddie will do anything that'll benefit himself. I don't like I said, I don't have heat with him anymore. Like legit, if somebody called me tomorrow and said, "Hey, we want Money Team to go work for BTW," I'd probably do it as long as
Mm.
I knew that I was working guys that weren't going to try to shoot on me the whole time. Well, I mean, guys that I would think could shoot on me the whole time. I'd be happy to do it. If I'm getting paid and if it's if it's worth my time. I'm not trying to say that their company's not. I'm just saying like if
Yeah.
somebody's saying we want you to come get fucked up and get squashed and you're not gonna get paid or whatever, then I'm not doing that shit. I remember doing that once before. I remember when Mega first started, somebody mentioned you should go work for Mega, and then I was told, oh well, you're gonna you can show up and work, but you're gonna get squashed and you're not gonna get paid. And I was just like, well, I'm not gonna go. Like that happened right when Mega first started.
Hmm.
But anyways, as far as like I was talking about Freddie, man, I don't I run my mouth. I was running my mouth about him a lot, and a lot of it was just because I mean, the motherfucker called and threatened my parents, man. I mean, a lot of shit happened over the years, but yeah, and I know Chris Phoenix feels the same way as me. Whatever, fuck it. I don't have heat with him, and anybody that works for him. Like even when I have heat with him or anybody else, I don't care where you're working. You're one of the boys to me. As long as you're not a total fuck. Like if I don't like you, I don't like you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you to your face I don't like you, just like I'll tell you behind your back I don't like you. I don't run my mouth behind somebody's back. I wouldn't say to their face. There's a lot of people I don't like. Actually, nowadays I've lightened up on that, but there used to be a lot of people I didn't like.
I'm pretty much the same way. I mean, there's a lot of you like I mean, the guys that I don't like shouldn't even be in the business to begin with, so I really don't consider them part of the business. I mean, it's almost like it's like what Ricky Morton always says. This he's like they don't understand our business. I swear when Ricky Morton ever says that to me, I fucking ejaculate right there. But that's another story. But I mean, I really don't fucking have a lot of heat with it. I might. I mean, if I do have heat with people, it's not on my end. I could probably count on one hand people that I don't like. It's in the wrestling business right now, and the other hand, is probably people that hate me but won't say anything to me. Which that's their deal. No big deal. I'm not gonna put it over.
Yeah, I've got like 50. I'm sure I've got about 50 people that hate me, and I've got about three that I don't like. And then I've got guys that people don't know whether or not I don't like them. Like fucking, like I was about to say earlier, Ricky Armani, man. That kid, oh my god.
I started getting along with him when I started booking for Nada. I booked two shows for her, and he gave me a ride up there. I think we were in Hearts. Yeah, no, he gave me the ride to the Hamlin show. That's what it was. But I seen him in Hearts, and when I saw him in Hearts, I was like, all right, I'm gonna work this fucker. I don't like him, man. He's always got on my nerves, and I wasn't too bad of the match that I had with him. And then, the next time, I was like, Ricky, sit over next to me. I even got him booked at Mega when we did a little TV taping that never made the air. But actually, I think Tom may have aired it. I don't know, but I got him a booking there. But I think I liked him because he would somebody would there'd be a goofball there, and I was like, hey Ricky, go ahead and talk shit to him. I wouldn't give a fuck. Didn't take care of my light work here. I was like, I'm not in the mood to get into it. You talk shit to him.
Well, I hated his guts for a little bit.
But I don't think he knows it to work. Because when I remember on the way up there, I think that may have been around the time when you and when Tom did the gimmick where he fired you and everything in front of the crowd. He goes like, "Man, did you hear that GQ got fired?" I was like, "Yeah, that sucks." I was like, "God damn, does he not know this is a work?"
Oh no, dude, that gimmick with Tom, that was fucking smart. It was so beautiful the way we did it because we put it over big as shit, and people in the business thought that it was legit. I mean, he had not only people in the business but marks like Mike Enders senior, I believe. If it wasn't him, it was somebody else. But somebody was like contacted him saying, "Hey, that was really unprofessional the way you did that." I mean, people were legitimately like getting a hold of Tom and saying, "Hey, I can't believe you did that. That was kind of wrong." And some people were saying they weren't going to come back to the show. I had a group of people say they were going to boycott the show if I wasn't booked at the next show.
I mean, nowadays you gotta do almost things like a shoot because everything's on the internet now. And nobody believes pulling a guy's tights as heat. They have to believe like I fucking kicked in your house and fucking kicked your little boy's ass or something. To get any kind of heat. I'd have to get arrested and be put all over the news for them to even believe that I'm any kind of a heel.
Were you there when I got fired?
Yeah, I was down there.
God, dude, I loved it. I'm fucking Eagle. Eagle came up and jumped in my arms after that promo. Because like I went out there and the couple shows before that I was just saying some of the most controversial shit. I did the stuff with Brian and his daughter and stuff, running my mouth about that shit. And then I did the stuff with Loco, calling him a fucking backyarder and saying he couldn't work, which is and calling saying he has to use weapons and he's just like these other guys. And I threw in other people's names and shot on him and shot on Billy and a few other people during the promo. And then that show, I just pulled two lines, told Tom when to hit, and then we had Tom come out. Tom comes out, and he fires me, and I was like, that's fine, go ahead and fire me. I'll go work for Nada. I'll go work for Freddie. I don't care. I'll go work for BTW. And then I got on the mic, and then, like, the crowd was, like, shocked, because seemed so legit the way I put it over and the way Tom, because Tom had never been on screen, really, other than one Remedy show that I
Oh god.
where he worked.
I'm I'm pretty sure. He still puts it. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he don't want to talk about it, but I've heard him talk about it before. But it is. I mean, basically, I think he tries to put the Remedy shows in the past because that was just like when he was just first learning, the ropes of running shows and shit. Before he got when he started getting guys like guys have been around the business, like Simon Rothschild. I think Sean Casey helped him out a little bit. Then eventually I started coming around, but I didn't even start coming around until the Fieldhouse. Up until the Fieldhouse, he fucking hated my guts.
Yeah, I think everybody's had a stage in their time when they've hated you, JV.
I'm sure. I mean, hell, I look in the mirror and hate myself. Okay, I have to deal with myself every day of my fucking life.
I mean, I know there was a time and I don't even know when, but there was a time when I hated you, but it wasn't based off of anything other than the fact that I didn't like the people that you rolled with. I didn't like. I had heat with Eric Steele. I had heat with Eric Darkstorm, and I looked at you as an outlaw just like those guys, and I didn't like you. And what kills me is those guys have had heat with many times in my life, especially Eric Darkstorm.
Mhm.
He and I hated our fucking guts in high school. Uh, but like I've always respected you guys regardless because I looked at you guys and been like, those guys are legit workers. Like all the guys that were, you guys and Shane Matthews, Eric, you, of course, Rocky, not, shit, you know which Rocky I'm talking about.
Lance Erickson.
Yes, Lance Erickson.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys I've always respected as workers, and that's kind of one of the reasons like I've avoided working with them because I know that I have my weaknesses in the ring. I know that I'm not the best worker. I'm very realistic of my abilities as a wrestler.
Those are the kind of guys you would want to be in the ring with to learn from. I mean, I know. I mean, even if you have to say, hey, below limit, just tell them you're green. I mean, that's fuck. Ryan Reed wrestled Lance Erickson and Mullins, and I even I think originally it was supposed to be Smokey. And then they ended up changing it for me and Smokey Tag, and Ryan Reed, he rode down with me, and I got him booked, and they said he's working Lance Erickson, so I said, hey, pulled Rocky aside, I said, hey, don't kill him, he'll listen, and they actually didn't have too bad of a match, and like I said, how was he? He's like, he ain't bad, cause, I mean, it kind of puts him in the head, when I pretty much told him like he'll listen, and whatever ideas you have, he'll listen to, or if you ain't got anything for him. But I pretty much put Ryan Reed over to him, and he was just like, okay, cool. And as long as they know, they don't want to have a shitty match either. Just let them know your weaknesses and let them know your strengths.
at the time. I mean, of course, it's not been Lance. Like Lance Erickson, Rocky. I've never been to a show with him until the later 304 shows.
Yeah.
I've just been to shows to watch him before. But as far as like Eric Steele and Eric Darkstorm, I knew those guys didn't like me. So I was like, I know how they treat people they don't like. I was always like, if I go out there and they fuck me up or embarrass me or something, it's just gonna ruin me. So like guys like that, I wanted to work and wanted to learn from. And Eric Darkstorm, I think, has gotten a lot better attitude wise over the last like 5 or 6 years. Uh, Not only is he seems cooler, but at the same time, it's like I mean I like him, but it's still I don't know, man. Like I've always just been worried that that'd be one of the things that would happen. I've always wanted to work those guys because
Mm.
those are the guys I respect and they're awesome. But it's like Eric Steele and I always thought, you know, hey, if I worked Eric Steele, he's gonna fuck me up, and I know he could because he's legit, and that's the thing I like about him.
I've seen Eric Steele pull matches out of Dane Bramage in Hearts.
Yeah, well, I mean now, like I definitely would now. Like now, I'm not scared now. Like the only person I'd be scared to do anything with would be either Derek Billings and Bubba or maybe Jason Kincaid. But that's just because of how much respect I have for Kincaid. I wouldn't want to make him look bad by having to work me.
Mm.
But I mean, yeah, yeah, and that's that right there. My favorite wrestler in the state is Jason Kincaid.
Oh yeah, he's doing fucking wonders right now. I mean, actually, I don't even know where he's at tonight, but I mean, he's booked almost every other day, pretty much.
Yeah, but I mean the guys like they're the guys that I respect as far as their work goes. But the Outlaws I've always been worried because I didn't I was just scared because I didn't think they liked me back then, and I was young, you know. I was like, nowadays you could stick me out there with pretty much any of those guys, and I'd be like, well, we'll see how it goes. You know, like I'm not worried to work those guys anymore. I wouldn't be, and that's why like lately you'll notice I've been trying to take bookings and get pounds and
It's more of a thing like if we see you after if people not just me but like if they see someone there for a while, I mean hell, I mean it's like I remember a few months ago I was crashing at Kevin Tyler's house, and me and Billy Witt were getting ready to go to North Carolina. And Kevin was saying, "Man, JV was a prick to me the first time I met him." I was like, "Ah, shit, I may have. I'm a prick to a lot of people at first, you know. I mean, you know how many fucking idiots I've ran into." And I looked at Billy Woods like, "Hell, I didn't like this guy when I first met him." And Billy was like, "Yeah, you used to call me Billy Clit all the time." And I was like, "Yeah." It was like you and his partner Damon Wright. I can't remember. I had a name for his partner, but I seen Damon Wright last Saturday in Mullins. And he's still doing it. And I don't know. It's like a lot of them just got better without doing anything really. It's just everybody else got fuckerish.
yeah. I think that's why I can get booked now. I don't think. I mean, I've gotten a little better, but I think it's just because, and I hate to say it because it's nothing against the newer guys, but it's just a lot of it. I think a lot of the ability that's in the ring and local shows has gone downhill, and a lot of it's just. I think a lot of kids don't pay their dues like they used to.
Too many people think they know a lot of shit before they actually really do know anything. I mean, fuck, I didn't know anything. I mean, I still don't think I know that much, but I mean,
Oh no shit.
I do get put over. I'll say that I do get put over a little bit for having a mind for the business. I don't say I'm the most athletically gifted wrestler out there, but I know how to put a match together. I know how to get the match over, and I know that's my strength.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think I should. I wish people would listen to me more because, like, legitimately, I'm the same way. Like, I'm not saying I'm not anywhere close to you. Okay, don't. I'm not trying to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, as far as like having a mind for the business and what goes where and when in a match and stuff, I know that stuff. Like, I know more than people want to give me credit for. Um, but it's because people don't want to get to know me. People look at me, they see me as a fat guy, and they see me as I've been doing dance offs with fucking bulldozer, and I've been doing uh, shit like that, and they just think automatically I'm a fuck. And in some ways, sure. I mean, I'm not an athlete. A lot of people feel like I shouldn't be in a ring, but at the same time, if you go out after a 304 show, and you ask them, hey, what's the one thing you could point out in the night that was the most memorable? They'll say GQ and Bulldozer in that dance off.
Mhm.
And the reason being because I can entertain. I know how to cut a promo. I know how to talk. I can bump. I know some chain. I'm not, the best, but I can do a little bit. And that's kind of why I've been. Another reason I've been trying to push for bookings elsewhere is because I'm back where I was when I was a rookie, where I'm looking at it like, a lot of people think I'm a fuck because of the same work, because I've been doing this, honestly, the smarter kind of work, but I've been doing, this kind of work for so many years that nobody thinks I can do anything anymore. And I want to be able to go out there and work and actually have good matches. Of course, I'm always limited with the guys that they stick me with, because I'm out there with Bulldozer in a squash. Not saying I couldn't work with Bulldozer, but when it's a squash, you can't do it.
Yeah.
The TV style match I had with Bulldozer actually wasn't that bad. Um, the dance off gimmick was fun. It wasn't bad. I'm just saying. But
Mhm.
and then they got, who else? Nigerian Nightmares. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't really work around that because they can't lock up. They can't sell the head. That's their gimmick. Oh, we don't sell the head. We don't lock up. Well, they're savages. I can't really do much to work with them other than just take the bumps that they give me. And that's what I was stuck with forever, was that and Dane Bramage. And that's what I'm at right now. Right now, I'm just like, okay, now I'm out there. Shane Storm has given me a lot of hope over the last few months, because like he's actually seen me do a little bit. Like, I worked my first show at UWA. I worked with Deacon Knight.
Mhm.
Uh, as far as like the Milton shows, I worked with Deacon Knight, and it was actually a good little match. Everything was crisp and looked good. And Shane Storm, I remember him being outside the ring and being like, "Wow, that actually looked good."
Yeah.
And then after that, he's actually put me over. That's why he was trying to push to get the tag belts on us. A lot of the reason was for me, because I've been wrestling for going on 10 years now, and I haven't even had anyone want to give me a rub and give me a belt or anything. So he wanted to do that. I mean, I'm not a belt mark. I mean, I kind of was there for a couple months because I was just getting tired of it, but I'm not a belt mark by any stretch of the imagination. I know enough of the business to know that shit doesn't really matter, but it was just kind of cool because I was actually getting a little recognition from somebody, and that's why I've been happy, because Shane Storm's made me feel a lot better, because I was like, he would talk to me and be like, "You're better than people want to give you credit for,"
Yeah.
and I agree. Anyway, so I've rambled for a while. What's another topic you want to talk
I
about?
guess we could start on. I mean, we pretty much talked about UWA to death, or at least the past UWA. But I guess we could start talking about the present UWA and how you got about working for them and all that.
Well, I mean, it really just started at Swinefest. As far as the modern UWA goes, I worked a show. You were there. It was a show that she had Brian book.
Mhm.
Um, and I and Brian booked it and booked himself to be champion the first show. And it was like a 4-person ladder match, I think. And I took a bad bump at the beginning of the match. We had qualifiers before. That was when I did a match with Ricky Armani. That was the last time. That's when I squashed my heat with him. I worked that match with him, and it was really bad. Um, and then we got to the back and talked a little bit, and I squashed my heat with him. And I didn't really have a lot of heat with him at that point. I'd kind of given up on it, but I mean, he and I did that. We did a match, and it was bad because like I'd call shit, and he just wouldn't listen. Like, I literally, he didn't understand when I threw him into the corner and said clothesline bulldog.
Well, you also got to think about this. Look at who he was actually trained by. He really didn't have any training. Um,
I
I'm, and if if someone wants to stooge it off the Daredevil, cool, no big deal. I mean, I'll tell Daredevil really didn't train him. I mean, Daredevil took his money, but it's like when him and Alan Armani they started together, and I remember I just go down there earlier in the day or something just to work out with some guys, being Ryan Reedwood, and I locked up with Alan Armani and told him to, I don't know, I did something and told him reverse, and he had no idea what I was even talking about, and he just had a match like the week before, and I just like fucking pushed him off and said, okay, you had a match last week. You got boots. You got tights. Um, why were you even in the ring if you don't? I mean, do you even have a fucking clue? And he was just like, just nobody ever showed me anything, and I was like, God damn.
Oh yeah. Do you know who bought him his first boots?
I have no idea.
Danny Ray.
Who was it? Ricky or Alan?
Ricky.
Ricky. Oh, okay. Yeah, Danny Ray did like Ricky, but
Yeah. Well, Ricky. That was the day that I met Ricky. Was the day that I really got heat with him. Because he worked his first match after a week of bumping. He worked his first match with Dane Bramage,
mhm.
and it was a squash at the Douglas Center. And then I saw him at the pub the next night for the pay per view, and I was there to watch the pay per view with a couple of the boys. And I was outside with some chick some little young skank I was trying to talk to at the time, and he was out there and he was talking to the guy, talking to these kids, and he was acting out, scoop slamming them
Oh
out
my
of the
god.
pub. And then he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm a wrestler, and I already learned how to bump, and that's all you really know how to do. Once you learn how to bump, everything else is gravy." And he's standing there, and then he looks at me and he says, "You know that? You ought to get in the ring, big boy." He didn't know that I'd worked at
Oh.
probably 5 years, and he looked at me. He goes, "You ought to get in the ring sometime, big boy. You look like you could. You look like you could do it." And I was like, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And he's like, "No, but man, I'll tell you what, man. All you gotta do is learn how to bump. Once you learn how to bump, that's it." And I was like, "Oh yeah, so like when you bump, you." And I acted like I was gonna take a bump, and I spread my arms. I was like, "You mean like that?" And he was like, "Yeah, man. How you know so much?" And I was like, "Never mind." And I just left. And then because I was still working at 304, I was just watching the show at that point.
I mean, too many people give too much shit away. That's I think that's one. I mean, I know it's basically out there. I mean, we're on the internet right now, so I mean that's why I don't give a fuck what I'm saying right now. Because I mean, you can Google something, right now and find out, what kayfabe is, or at least what the internet will tell you what kayfabe is. There's a lot of shit on the internet that they really don't. Or there's a lot of shit on the internet, but there's a lot of shit that doesn't make it to the internet that they don't know.
Like
And
marks.
oh, I mean, all kinds of shit. I mean, the marks don't know everything that they think they know. I mean, they just know what they read on the internet. There's a lot of shit that there's a lot of terms that even never made the internet. Yeah, you can ask Bo James about that shit. He has a fucking book practically on fucking wrestling terms that hasn't even made the internet. I mean, if people want to talk wrestler talk, want to be technical about it, they really don't know as much as they would. But hell, I remember one time I was at the Pig. Me and Eric Steele were watching. We were gonna go watch some UFC fight, and Chick Corey, she was bartending, and she said, "Hey, these are my wrestling buddies and everything." And I was like, "Hey," I just waved and everything. And then this guy said, "Hey, I know a wrestler," and I said, "Oh yeah, who do you know?" And he was like Joey Perfection, and I said, "Never heard of him." And then he was like, he wears pink, and I was just like fucking around because Eric Steele wears pink, and I said, any guy that wears pink must be a fag. and he was like, oh no, he wrestles, and he says they give him a script and everything, and he cuts his forehead to bleed, and I was like, man, it sounds like he has a personal issue or something, man. I was like, because I said I've never fucking tried to commit suicide like that, and I've never been handed a script. And I guess I offended that guy. That guy was looking at me. He stood behind me, started fucking clenching his fist, and Eric Steele was like, JV. I was like, what? And he was like, calm down. I can't take you anywhere. The guy left, and then I was just like, oh, where the fuck? What's that guy's problem? But yeah, like too many people give too much shit away to the marks. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's kayfabe. People know what heel is. People know what a baby is. But I mean, don't give. She's like, man, you just take that bumps, and do this. I mean, no, no, stop it, stop it right fucking now.
That's one thing I'll put myself up for. I've actually had two girlfriends that that I've dated while I've been wrestling, that both of them, uh, I've convinced that everything I do is real. I do not when I sell, like when I was selling, like there was one girl, Ashley, one of my exes.
Mm.
Uh, when I was selling, I would sell the neck. I'd sell it out to the car. We'd get back to her place, and I would still sell the neck, so she would give me a massage.
I mean, DDP said it best. You can say what you can about wrestling or what you want about wrestling, but you can't fake gravity. My fucking back can't can attest to that. My fucking foot right now. Well, technically I'm not on crutches today. I tried to take the day off of crutches, but I guess I need to get back on them tomorrow. But
Yeah, I mean it's true, but oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. All right, want to go to a new topic?
well, let's see. You right now you're the we're yeah yeah
I'm 1/4 of the UWA Tag Team Champions.
1/4. Fuck.
Because I pinned one of the Tag Team Champions, and I got my first belt, and it was the actual tag team was originally meant to be me and Ryan Reed. I'm not going to talk about the politics of that stuff because I mean that can still cause heat and cost me my job. So,
Yeah.
as far as that goes, there was a lot of stuff that happened in the back, and it wound up being a 3-on-2 handicap match, and it was me and Ryan Reed and Smokey C against them, and I got the pin. And, that was because Ryan Reed pushed for me to get the pin. He was literally like, "Well, that's the spot. We'll do this," and so we did that. And so we won the tag belts. Um, so I have no clue what we're doing at the next show. We've got a show next Saturday on the 15th. I know Money Team's going to be there. I know we're going to beat some people up, but I don't know who we're beating up yet. There's been a lot of stuff going on over there in UWA. I mean, we have a huge following there, but our fans aren't the fans that were money marks that were at the last show. They're huge Money Team marks. They weren't very happy with a couple things that happened, so they're not going to be back. So I don't know what the crowd's going to be like. I don't know who's going to hate us and who's going to love us. I know there's some other heat with me that I'm not going to talk about that I've got to deal with when I get there with somebody else, but it's something that was completely retarded and not necessary. That I, it's not even true. So that's whatever. Um, but I'm 50-50 on UWA right now, man. Like 2 shows ago, even though like we didn't win the tag titles 2 shows ago, it was a great crowd. The crowd was marking out for us. I beat up that Mason Alexander kid in a squash match, and the tag match, the crowd was super hot for it, and it was a really good vibe. Everybody was happy, having a good time. It was a good show. Then last show, there was some backstage politics stuff that happened. I said something wrong the show before that I didn't know I said, and I don't know what all happened. I don't even know if it was all just me. It may have been somebody else, and it was blamed on me because that happens to me all the time. And so this last show there was I the only thing I enjoyed was getting my hand raised, but I mean that was even short lived because Smokey hurt his ankle,
Mm.
and earlier in the show Ace Prime got injured when he was wrestling Chris Phoenix, and I was worried about that too because I felt terrible. Um, and there were some people complaining about different things happening during the show, but like I said, that's not anything I need to open any windows on right now because that's drama that could cost more drama.
Yeah. Well, basically, what I'm gonna say, this is a little disclaimer. This is not GQ saying this is me, but this is JV. Okay, so don't fucking try to cast wind him. I've told Monty Combs this. I said, man, I do respect the fact that Shane Storm and Bobby Blaze, as a former UWA booker, I do respect the fact that Bobby Blaze and Shane Storm are fucking doing their damnedest to try to help that place out. As far as having, matches make sense and with what the hand they're dealt. But in the end, it's still the promoter's call. And, I'm not going to say I've never asked for bookings there. It's nearby, okay? It's a place where my fucking kid can watch me wrestle. So I've never, it's not like I'm not saying I've never said, hey, you got room for me or whatever. But the fact is, the promoter is still a mark, okay? She's not smart at all, despite what she says she is. She's not smart at all, and I know this will get stooged off later. I don't care, I've been cussed out by a higher class of people, okay? She's still a fucking fan, and I mean, I've seen shit, I've heard shit, she's still, she's in order to run shows or actually be a part of this business, you need to get out of that mentality of thinking that you're still in the crowd and still, hell, the first time I booked for her, we had no baby face, or we had no heels. We just had baby faces. All baby faces. I had to turn some people. I was like, God damn, where's all your heels? She's still, I mean, in a way, I mean, I'm not saying that she's like that out of touch where she is, where she's going to confront the heels in the back or anything like that. Like, hey, you pulled his tights, but in a sense, she's almost like, hey, this guy cheated to win. Let's fucking do something to make the baby win. She's still not out of that. She's still watching it like as a fan would, and that's my take on it. Not, I mean, she is drawing. I'm not saying that she doesn't have a crowd there. She does have a crowd, and it's despite what everybody else says. I've heard people say it's Blazing Eagles family. No, I mean Blazing Eagle must have a large family because that is a big crowd that I've ever seen in Milton.
No, no, no. He did have that for a little bit. There were some shows, not at UWA, but before, like when he first started, that was a stigma that he had because he did have a lot of family members going to cheer for him, and that it caused some heat. But no, I can attest to that.
Hmm.
Most of the people there are actual wrestling fans or like girlfriends of the boys or something like that. Like they do actually have a decent crowd, especially on their good nights. Like they have their good nights and they have their okay nights. They've got the standard Douglas Center UWA nights of 30 people that they have every once in a while. And then they've got the other nights where they're packed out. Like 2 shows ago, literally the one I was talking about, this beautiful show, they had to pull seats from the back
Hmm.
to bring out to the crowd. So we had guys that had to stand up to change because they were pulling seats out to the crowd. That's how good and big the crowd was, and they were so into it. And if you want a good sense of that, I'm doing a plug, JV. Go to the hashtag Money Team's Facebook. Go to our YouTube, and you can find all the matches from those shows.
Hmm.
Go in and watch them. You'll see there's a good crowd, and you can hear them chanting the hell out of some Money Team. Um, and because Money Team's over, and that's one of the things that I'm happy about because I've been trying to get in a stable with these guys for years, especially Chris Phoenix and Ryan Reed.
Well, I kind of take credit for Money Team since technically Money Team is almost like an offshoot of The Office from the old SWA days. But
And I love The Office from the SWA days. That was some of the funnest times when there would be fucking 10 of us out there surrounding the ring.
yeah.
And that's yeah. I mean, Money Team, and it's because a lot of that's because it's a group of guys that have been together forever. I mean, like I said when we first started talking, man, me and Chris Phoenix and Ryan Reed got trained together. And
Mm,
one of the first guys that was nice to us was Smokey C.
yeah.
Smokey's one of the first guys that was like we talked to him. We made fun of him the first show we were there because we didn't hear his actual name, and we thought his name was Smokey Seaman. So we made fun of him the whole show. But then after that, we got in the back and we talked and we bonded with him. He was really cool with us, and
yeah.
he might even pulled out some smiz. I can't remember for sure, but
Yeah, Smokey's one of the guys I didn't like at first. I mean, I just looked at him, I was just like, who's this hardcore goof? And then, I mean, I got to know him. I think Eric Steele was actually the one that was hanging out with him at first. And then I was like, ah, he ain't too bad. And then we actually tried. I actually started trying to show him how to work. I mean, I put him in matches with Scotty McKeever. I was actually showing him. He's like, you don't have to do these barbed wire death matches every fucking show. He's like, you'll have a longer career. He's like, save that shit for a better payday. And I mean, and he's always been really cool. I remember there was times when I was actually wrestling a lot, and I'd call him when he was well, he's technically still living in Charleston now, but when he was living in Charleston before, I call him up, say, hey, I'm just coming back from a town. Is it cool if it's like 1 or 2 in the morning? Normal people will fucking hang up on you, but a wrestler, you say, "Hey, I'm in town. I got a show tomorrow. Is it cool if I crash on your couch?" Yeah, no problem. I'm opening the door right now.
Yeah, that kind of reminded me of something. I just between you and me, JV, I gotta ask.
And everybody else listening.
Of course, but from you to me, when you were there was at one point you were trying to get me to work Gypsy Joe.
Was I?
Yeah, because you had Gypsy Joe booked, and you were like calling me, trying to convince me to work Gypsy Joe, and I was like, dude, he's gonna fuck me up. And you were like, nah, man, just don't try to Irish whip him.
Oh yeah.
And
uh,
so was that because you needed somebody to work Gypsy Joe, or was that so I could get fucked up?
I just need someone to work Gypsy Joe. To be honest, I mean, I barely remember that, but yeah, it's probably just for someone to work Gypsy Joe that night.
I went straight to Chris Phoenix and told him about that, and he was like, "Don't do it." I was like, "Why not?" Chris Phoenix was like, "Don't do it." He was like, "They're just trying to get him to shoot on you. They're just trying to get you beat up. Don't do that."
Well, not so he get his ass whipped. I
And
didn't
he
say they
said,
were gonna shoot on him.
"What? What'd he say?"
He said, "You probably get your ass whipped and not shot on." But honestly, Joe, Joe will work with anybody as long as they can work. I mean, I don't think even when I did book him, I booked him in 2 matches. He worked Eric Steele. They had a little. Actually, originally I was gonna put him with Kincaid in the main, but Kincaid ended up not making it, so I put him with Eric Steele, and him and Eric Steele had a decent match. And but the other match, it was for TV. The week before, I had him working Matt Talika. That's a little old UWA name there from the past. I don't even know if that guy's still alive for all I know. But oh my God. I mean, I told him the same thing, just listen to him. But I mean, I remember Joe came back. He's like, oh my God, that guy can't even get beat up right.
Oh man, there was shit. Oh fuck. Oh yeah, that's another one of my matches that I didn't know. Like I felt like an idiot like 6 months later when I was actually thinking about it, but I didn't know anything about Chuck Taylor or Ricochet
Oh yeah.
the day that I met them, and you were like, because I mean, wasn't it like Jugs couldn't work or something like
No,
that?
it was like I had a 6 man booked. I think it was like I think it was supposed to be Chuck Taylor, Ricochet, and damn, I'm trying to remember who the third one was because they're supposed to work Shane Matthews, Vega, and Bret Sharp. I can't remember. I think Ace Prime would have been because Ace Prime was still in that match. And then like ironically, Shane Matthews and Bret Sharp got in not in a car wreck with each other, but they both got in car wrecks the same day. And Vega just didn't want to be in that match to begin with. So I mean, I put him. I was gonna have him do something in the main anyway. So I was just like, God damn! I'm looking around and I was like, I saw Jugs. He was just there. I guess he wanted to see Pondo or something. And I said, "Hey, you got your shit?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Well, fuck, go to Ashland. It's not that far away." I mean, the guys in the match aren't even here yet. And he was like, "Nah, I just don't want to work." And I was like, "Fuck, all right." And I started looking around. I was like, "Well, there's GQ." And I was like, "GQ, can you go up the hill and get your gear?" and at the time, you didn't even have gear.
I didn't. I was still working without gear. It was awesome, but then that match happened, and I was 6 months later. I was marking out for myself when I thought about it. I completely forgot the match even happened, and then I was just like, and it wasn't. And what's cool is it wasn't a bad match. Like it was. Of course, it was because of the guys I was working with,
Yeah.
but it was really smooth. I mean, fucking Ricochet took my little five knuckle shuffle gimmick, man.
Now he's top. Now he's top shit in Japan. I think he has at least held every single belt there is in Japan right now.
Yeah, and it was me and Chuck Taylor, who's a big internet sensation, versus Ace Prime and Ricochet. And I
Yeah.
remember Ace Prime shaking his head in disappointment when he saw me Harlem shaking before I gave this dude a fucking fist drop. Ace Prime was like, "No, don't you do it," and then I did, and he was like, "Oh, fuck." And it was a good little match. I remember after the match seeing Chris Phoenix and Ryan Reed, and they were like, "GQ, we didn't see a lot of it, but you should be proud because you actually did well out there. You actually did it." And
Mm.
because at the time, I mean, I was really fucking green, and yeah. So that match, I don't even remember a whole lot about it other than the fact that it was just a decent little match and I had fun with it. But I'm worked out for it. I remember me and Chuck Taylor making a little girl cry in the crowd after we lost because he got up in this little girl's face and was like, "It's your fault we lost. It's your fault." He got up behind her. I was like, "Yeah, it's your fault, you stupid little girl." And yeah, and I remember at the time I had no clue who the dude was. I didn't really know stuff to the guys, and I felt like an idiot later because I was like, I don't know. I was like, which one of these guys is Chuck Taylor? And you're like, oh, that guy over there. And I was like, oh, okay. I had no clue these guys fucking were. I knew everybody else in the locker room, but
Yeah, another top shit. I mean, hell, I won't be surprised if they're signed by next year.
yeah, especially Ricochet. That motherfucker's Jack now.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, and see, and now I can name drop that in promos too, and I have. I've said, I've been in the ring with Chuck Taylor and Ricochet, some of the top talent in the business today. I've been in the ring with Jake the Snake. I've been in the ring with Demolition Axe, and uh, the two things that I regret ever doing was turning down bookings with Gypsy Joe and Tracy Smothers.
Hmm.
I was asked to work Tracy once by Todd, and I just told Todd, dude, he's heel and I'm heel. Do you want us to work heel heel? He was like, no, that's true. I'll find somebody else. And then as soon as he hung up, I was like, fuck, man, I was gonna work Tracy. Of course, I mean, I've bumped around with him and worked with him, but I've never had a match with him, and I would have there. So fuck.
As many times as I've been around Tracy, me and him's only worked one time against each other. I mean, I've tagged him 1,000 times. I've managed him 1,000 times. But the only time I've ever worked with him was actually at the Douglas Center. Some random 8-man tag. I think the entire locker room worked him.
And I mean, I managed him once too, and I remember for a little bit, I was talking to him, and he and I were talking about starting a little FBI at 304 Wrestling with me and him and a couple other guys, and he said he wanted me to be like the Big Sally and us do an FBI gimmick there, and it just kind of never came to fruition because of the Five Most Wanted thing. But
Hmm.
uh, yeah, so anything else you want to talk about, or you want
Uh,
to?
well, looks like we've ran out of shit to say. I think we're struggling right now.
I mean, you can ask me about different people, and I'll tell you what I think of them. If
All right.
that's good or bad.
All right. Top of my head, Smoky Seat.
Smoking, ooh, Smokey. I don't know, man. He's my boy. I don't have anything like. There's a couple of questionable times we've had in the past. One of them was my fault, involving one of his exes. Well, it was his ex for like a day, his current girlfriend, but it was literally a joke, and I felt like crap for it. But there have been other things that have been questionable between me and him, but I don't know. He's a cool cat now. I'm not gonna say anything bad about him on the internet because I mean we're in a stable together. He's great. Uh, I mean he's a very recipe worker, but he know what he does makes sense, and he's smarter than he used to be. He doesn't go out there and kill himself doing thumbtack matches every single show anymore. So I'm proud of him for that.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Brian Masters.
Brian Masters is a I'm joking.
Hmm.
I thought he was when I first met him. I was trying to get him to come up and train with Alan when we were training, but he decided to go get trained with Freddie. I and Scotty McKeever apparently, but I don't know how legitimate all that is.
Well, actually, I know the whole thing because I was actually at the pub. Me and Eric Steele were sitting there. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say we weren't there watching a pay per view because we were. We were watching some pay per view, and I heard Brian's loud ass voice, which at the time I think I just thought he was just yelling over everybody being so loud, but it just turned out to be his normal voice. but he just said he was about to go, and I guess Billy was there, but I mean I had no clue who Billy was at the time, but Brian was saying he was about to go to Beckley to get trained by somebody named Scotty McKeever. Or first he just said he was going to Beckley, and then I yelled at him and said, "Hey, you say you're about to train to wrestle?" He's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Who's training you?" And he said, "Some guy named Scotty McKeever. Do you know him?" I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you're getting some good training there." And I did see him there, but Scotty ain't gonna get in the ring with anybody unless he gets some money. And I he either didn't have the money or he just couldn't commit to coming down there all the time to train. I don't know what happened, but I guess Scotty just asked him where he from, and he said Huntington. Scotty pretty much uh, told him to go to Freddie. And I remember I seen him a month later, and he was main eventing some show. And I didn't even know who. I mean, it didn't kick in until later. It's like, man, I remember him now.
Yep, and that's the thing. They pushed him straight to the main event there.
Yeah.
But that's one good thing I can say about Brian Masters is that he's never beaten me.
Or Blizzard.
Or Blizzard. Blizzard beat him and I beat him. I've beaten him at least 4 or 5 times, and he's never beat me once.
Oh Jesus, he's gonna blow my phone up probably at 5 a.m. Tonight.
I'll be calling the show in 5 minutes.
Does he have Skype? I mean, I didn't even know what Skype was.
He's gonna be like, "Motherfucker, I heard you talking shit, GQ. We're booked at the next show." Oh, sorry, we're booked at the next show. I had to get louder. But yeah, that's my opinion on. Well, I haven't even really said. Basically,
You didn't say anything about him.
I just said I used to think he was a fuck. No, but he's my brother, man. I've had ups and downs with him too. Not too many downs, but enough. I mean, I had one little conflict involving him and his wife, but it was me being an idiot because I was really, really, really drunk. You know those nights when I win a bunch of money.
Yeah, and then you don't have it anymore the next day.
Yeah, 2 days later I'm broke. Usually the next day I have like I'll win $1,000 and then I'll go home from the bar with $350. And I don't even remember how I spent half of it usually. Most of the time, like I used to do that. Like when I was like 20, I knew what I did with it. I would go to the strip club and spend a bunch of money on lap dances and stuff like that. Now it's like I'm just going to the bar and I'm like, shit, start me out with 40 shots of Jaeger. And then I'll buy either other people Jaeger and buy this person a shot. I'll buy you a shot. I'll buy you 10 shots. I'm like, shit, whatever, man. I didn't earn that money. Why the fuck should I care? It was one of those nights, and I did. I did a couple things I shouldn't have, and it was literally. I didn't even think it. Like when it happened, like I forgot it even happened the next day. But like I remember doing it now, and I didn't think it was a big deal at the time.
Alright. What about Kevin Tyler?
Kevin Tyler.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, man. Um,
Is that it?
sorry, no, I just. Anyways, um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, Kevin Tyler, dude, he's got a lot of potential. He's got a he's got a good body. He's got a good look. He and I've only talked to him once, but it was at 304, and he was humble and actually listening to me. And I might not even be the best guy to get advice from for his style, but um, I just basically was given a couple pointers. But I was like, dude, I think the dude's got a lot of potential.
Hmm.
Like I said, I've only had that one conversation with him, but he's humble as hell and he seems really cool. So yeah.
All right. What about? Hold on. I'm just like randomly picking numbers out of my contact list. Bill it.
Billy Lit.
Yeah.
Billy Lit is, I think he's very underrated as a wrestler. Um, he's actually really, I think he's really good. He's come into his own the past few years. Like I didn't think he was that great probably 5 or 6 years ago, but he's come into his own. I mean, when I've seen him lately, and he's cool as shit as a guy too.
Yeah.
Like I love Billy Lit. Billy Lit is funny as hell. I've got nothing bad to say about the dude. He's a good kid, and he can work. I've seen him improve a lot over the years. I like Billy. Billy's a cool guy.
Let's see. Jock Sampson.
I've not really even ever talked to him, but I'm a mark for his work. And a lot of times, I mean, I've only seen him have two matches, but they were both really good. Um, I've That's basically all I really have to say. He's a good worker, I've never even really talked to him, other than shaking his hand.
Let's see here. Well, this name keeps. I've literally came across this name in here, and I keep on passing it up because I don't consider it part of the business. But this is like the third time it's came up. Doctor Green Thumb.
Oh Jesus, I don't even know where to start. Nate Murphy is a guy that was never trained. He did some limited training when he started. I mean, he learned how to bump and stuff. But I mean, I like. I have no heat with him as a person, but man, every time I've been in a ring with him, he's just made me mad. Every time I get in a ring, I'd call something, he'd screw it up. Like I'd put him in the ropes. I'd say duck one, take a back elbow. I'd whip him. He would reverse the whip, give me a clothesline, and I would not understand what just happened. And then he would go. He would tell me he's going to kick me. He's going to give me a kick to the head, and then he'd like almost knock me out and kick me in the fucking head. Hey, you remember? You were in that match. You remember the first Buddha show?
Was it the first? I don't think it was the first because the first Buddha show was like me and the kid against Shane Matthews of Vega in
Oh, the
Chesapeake.
second one.
I think I was I in that one.
It's like a four-way tag match thing.
I know there was one where I actually had a tag with him, but I remember I worked Eagle and somebody.
Yeah, yeah, that was it. It was you guys, an Eagle and somebody, and Shane Styles.
Oh, you tagged this dude who looked like Dane Bramage's fucking twin brother or something. I forgot that it was even a three-way. I thought it was like just a tag.
But yeah, I mean that when I got in the ring with him, man, he messed me up twice. He almost broke my jaw. But it's okay because I forearmed the crap out of him too afterwards. I gave him a little receipt, but yeah, I mean, it's other than that, like I literally, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he belongs in the business. It's nothing personal. It's just between whatever. But a lot of people say the same thing about me, so like it's whatever.
Well, thank God he's not in the business anymore. I didn't even think he was a part of it to begin with, but
Dude, he did. I remember the retirement thing he did at Swine Fest. I mean, I wasn't even that like. I just remember there was a Swine Fest. He did a retirement thing or something. Which cool. I mean, it's whatever. Like I said, I don't have heat with the guy. I just
I do. I do for personal reasons, but he's just a fucking idiot that I mean he continues to run his mouth about me. I don't I mean if he I mean I've seen him three times and all three times there's been a reason why we couldn't throw hands or whatnot. And if he wants to be an adult and drop it, cool, no big deal. But don't keep talking shit about it after the fact, saying that I ran when it's just it just didn't happen. So I don't know, he's just still an idiot in my book. Always will be. So that just shows you not all juggalos are homies.
true, true. Um, so, do you have any response to what's the comments online that I'm noticing right now?
I haven't seen any comments.
Uh, Josh posted something earlier. It said shit's getting real on the happy hour, and then apparently Nada's listening in. She said, "Let him think about all he wants. I know more than you think."
Oh Christ! Hold on, man. I'm about to look on this shit.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have said anything. And like I said, I wasn't. I'm not trying to. I didn't say anything this time. I'm not trying to bash anyone or say anything. I have no heat with anybody there. I'm happy. It's whatever.
Let me pull my phone up here.
I just turned you into the guest, JV.
Oh my God! Hold on a minute here. She's how is she listen? There's two views. What is that? Two.
It
Her,
glitches.
oh, okay. I was looking at this. I'm trying to figure this thing here.
There's been as many as 9 and as few as 1. It keeps like jumping up and down.
I saw two views and I was like, what? Is she the only listener? I gotta check this shit out here.
It's
Is it is it is it under my shit or is it under Chris Phoenix's?
under Josh's.
Oh God.
Josh said the shit's getting real on the hashtag the happy hour.
I was talking about because GQ was talking about Freddie.
Yeah. Oh, Freddie Cornell.
Alright, I see 5 comments here. She said, LOL. Let him about all he wants. I know more than you think. No drama. Hey. I mean, it's just my opinion that she just doesn't know what she's talking about. No, seriously. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that works for her. It's just my personal opinion. And as I said before, it's not like I've never asked for work from her. I have. I kind of think it's ridiculous on some of the stipulations she's thrown upon me to just come down and see my friends and everything, which I cleared with her beforehand. But I don't know. She's I remember, and I'm probably gonna throw some people under the bus on this one. None of you guys, but I remember. I think it was. Yeah, it was under your status. You said if you want to draw a crowd, book Money Team, and I was just fucking around on there, and I said you want to kill a town, book JVF and Insanity, and then it got blown way out of proportion. That fucking Mark Robert Gallagher gets on there and says, "You want to kill a town, or kill a promotion, book JV and Sandy," and then I don't know. I started making fun of him, and I mean, it just was a big joke and everything. Days later, after it was been dropped, she gets on there and acts like I. Oh, actually, originally, because Shane Storm told me that she even asked him, said, "Hey, um, did you see what JV wrote or some shit like that?" And Shane Storm's like, "Oh, JV's just fucking around. It's just a joke." And then she's like, "Okay." And then she gets on there and says, like, "Nobody's killing my promotion." And I was like, okay, goddamn. And I was just waking up. It was like 10 a.m. I'm in Canova. I was out there just seeing my fucking family I got. I barely get to see anymore. And then I get someone talking shit to me. And I'm like, goddamn. I don't remember what all was said, but we went round and round and round and round. Eventually, she just deleted all her shit. So I guess I won that battle. I don't know, but I probably shouldn't have said that. She's gonna get on there and start talking again. But I mean, it's whatever. It's her promotion. I don't care. She runs it how she wants to, and I mean, it's not a requirement you have to book me or anything. So I mean, I'm not even upset with her, to be honest. I mean, I just know she's not as smart as she thinks she is. She may think she's smart, but she's not. She's not. I don't know. I just don't want to bring up topics that that I could
Yeah,
bring up, but I know she's not smart.
I mean, taken out of that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I forgot I got to throw my disclaimer out here. This is my views, not so don't go fucking punishing Money Team when they show up. So they're like, you were on that fucking show talking shit. This is my shit talking, okay? I'm the one that was talking shit. Nobody else was. Nobody. It's not like he's saying I agree with you, JV, 100% or anything. It's my opinion. So hit LOL all you want. I don't care. I really don't care. Like I said, I've been cussed out by a higher class of people.
okay. So just saying, there's is one guest a maximum allowance at a time on the happy hour?
I'm trying this right now because when I used to do the happy hour before, every now and then I would try to have a guest, but then it would get so overcrowded that everybody was talking over everybody. And although I mean everybody liked it and thought it was fun, it was like a fucking party chat room or something like that. But I don't know, it was almost impossible to follow anything anybody was saying because everybody was talking at once. Jazzy's on there, then Billy's run. Billy was a one hell of a door guy. He let everybody on in. Fat Freddy's on there, just fucking asking question after question, no matter how dumb the question was or how smart the question was. He was asking it.
Well, this was completely unadvertised. This was this is basically almost a test run on video. Anybody that is listening or will listen to this, we need to do another one of these, but not just with me. I mean, I've already said enough right now. Plus, I mean, it's not been the most exciting chatter, but it's because I'm trying to keep a lid on some of the things I'd like to say, and I don't have other guys to bounce off of to talk about. So get we should get whatever guests you want. It's your show.
hmm
Sometime I'd like to get one with me and Phoenix, and maybe even Ryan Reed on the same thing for Money Team. Even
hmm
with Smokey, I don't care. But let us do it, especially being Chris Phoenix and Ryan Reed. And then not only let us do it, but then I want us to advertise and let the marks send questions, so that way we can answer questions from Gallagher and Enders and Martinez and Michael McDowell and those guys.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I'd like to hear, I want to know what they want to hear from me, because there is about 24 hours worth of stuff I could say, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
If we booked it with all three of us, it would go on for hours, I think. Between the four of us,
It'd just be like being at the bar with us, and we never fucking shut up, and we're always talking about old stories and shit. But
Yeah, like when we started, I thought that Chris Phoenix was going to be on this with me.
well, I didn't actually think you guys. I kind of did
did
think I was,
think I was gonna jump in at some point, but
I
I
just
just
kind
kind
of
of
let
let you guys keep going, and you guys were doing your thing, and I was just producing. I'm the producer.
Okay, Michael Enders is coming after your job.
Yeah.
the thing
I
too.
think
I was given
about 30 minutes notice to put some stuff together. Hopefully the next one I'll have it a little more planned out, and maybe we can get some video up or something if that's possible. That way people can see our sexy faces. Not mine so much, but
Yeah, when you
but
first told me with Skype, I was like, man, these people aren't going to be able to see me, are they?
Well,
actually until I joined the call, they were able to. I kind of fucked that up, but I couldn't hear what was going on, and I wanted to hear. So
Well, I look
sorry.
like shit, so that sucked.
Yeah.
Oh well. If I'd have known, I'd have made. I was, if, in case you didn't notice, when we first started, I was trying to fix my hair a little, because I was like, man, these fuckers are putting me on TV.
Right.
Justin TV.
Justin TV.
Just
So GQ, there was a topic on Facebook. Approximately what? I'd say 5-6 days ago, something like that.
Yeah.
You were very curious as to what it was that was going to be.
Oh, I remember this now.
So
okay.
I went to Ashland to pick up JV, and
Assorted guests. I don't want to get JB
JB in trouble.
It's not like she can hear. She's fucking incarcerated.
Okay,
Well, he got a guest with him, and I'll still won't reveal her name just yet. I will, but not yet. So,
we
while
were
we were
driving
driving them back, I was driving back from Ashland here.
Actually, I had to go.
It hadn't even fucking left yet,
And
and the shit about you was already coming out. So there's a story that came out that apparently Ashley was around you. I don't know where exactly. I think it was out or some shit like that. And she was with a friend or some shit. I don't know what the reasoning was. And this was probably, and just to put this out there so it doesn't get you in any heat. She told me this was like 3 or 4 months ago. So I don't even think you knew your girlfriend back then. So
I didn't miss that point. No.
anyways, the deal was, I guess apparently she needed some. She just needed gas money. She was like, "Can I just get like $5 to get some gas money to get somewhere?"
Oh, that's a lie already. Go ahead.
Oh,
It may have been to get. I don't remember. At one point, I think she said something about a bus. I don't fucking know. She was trying to get somewhere to do something, like suck another guy off for all I know. Anyways, the deal was that you basically gave her an iPad type. It was some kind of tablet. I don't know if it was a fucking iPad. It was a tablet. You gave her a tablet to go pawn to get basically the gas money and or whatever the fuck it was she wanted. A brawl. I don't fucking know. But she only needed like $10 or some shit. She wanted a pack of cigarettes and to get somewhere. And then so anyway, she said something about she pawned it and she got like $45 for it, and she like offered to give you what was left over. And you told her, no, just go ahead and keep it. What I want you to do is I need you to show up at Shoops and you and your friend and act like you're there with me, so all my friends will think that you guys.
Wow, that's not true at all. Okay.
Come on, GQ.
Oh, come on. You're over the top.
I'll tell you.
You're over the top.
I can tell you the story because it's half true. Okay. For that. Okay. Here's what happened. First of all, 3 days before she and I talked. Well, she and I had already talked a few times. I was wanting to get my dick sucked.
Oh, God. Every great story starts with that line.
And I was single and it had been like a month, so I was like, okay.
Have you ever fucked her with a JV and Sandy mask on, though?
True. She was one of my options. Like I had plan A, B, C, D, and F. There was no E, but there was plan A, B, C, D, and F, and then, but nothing was really working out that week. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I tried to talk to her about that because she was doing that stuff. She actually hit me up first and was asking me, hey, do you know any way I can get some money? And I said, I don't know. What are you looking for? She said $80. And I said, $80 for what? She said, we do it. No, it was $50. And she said, we do it. And I was just like, okay, whatever. At the time, I wasn't interested. But then a couple days later, I got that tingle and kind of was. So I was talking to her about it. And we were going to do that. And then it didn't happen because I just kind of backed out. I was like, I don't really, I was, I don't want to pay for that. Like, I just, but I was going to.
All right, hold on, wait. I don't want to cut you off completely.
GQ, but I do want to put you on the spot.
And obviously
you can't lie here because I'm on the conversation. Is it or is it not true that you called me and asked me to loan you the $50 so you can fuck her?
Yeah, because even though you know what, I had the $50. I didn't want to pay her, and I was gonna borrow $50 from you so I could do that. And yes, I was trying to get a hold of you to do that, and I was gonna see if you wanted to join in and fuck her afterwards.
Oh, I remember you kept telling me at the bar
and stuff. You kept telling me that she'd do both of us for 75 or some shit like that.
Yeah, he said that. So, anyways, what happened was this is where it gets a little bit, and you guys are gonna call me a pussy or a liar, one of the two.
I'll do both.
2 days before she and I did that, she posted online something like, you know, I wish I knew what a real friend was. I don't have any real friends, drama bullshit. And I just messaged her and I inboxed her and I was like, hey, what's up? Are you okay? She was like, yeah, I just wish that my friends didn't expect me to suck and fuck whoever, just so that I could borrow some money if I needed or if I need a favor sometime. Everybody expects me to suck them or fuck them if I do that. And I was like, well, if you didn't put yourself out there and you didn't make that the situation, then maybe they would respect you more and that they would actually care about you. Right now, they don't care about you. They just want to get their dick sucked. So they're willing to give you money for that. And I was like, well, whatever. I'm a friend if you ever need a friend. I decided at that point I wasn't ever going to try to fuck her or anything like that. And I was like, I'll be a friend. I was going to fuck her friend Emily, but I wasn't going to pay. And I was just like, whatever. I'll be your friend if you need anything. So then she got a hold of me a couple days later, and her story she gave me wasn't that. And she'd been posting all day that she was wanting to get her GED.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she was saying, is she was looking for money to get her GED. And I was like, wow, I would like to hook her up. And truth be told, I actually had 30 bucks, but basically I had three internet tablets. I had an iPad, I had my next book, and then I had this little shitty tablet. I don't even remember what the brand of it was, but it was like a $50 tablet. So I hooked her up with it. I did. That's not a lie. I was going to, and basically what I told her was, go ahead and keep it. It cost me $50 when I bought it, and I actually think I got a discount on it to that price. So I didn't really care about it. So I just gave it to her, and then, but that wasn't really what I said. I didn't say you have to go there and be whatever. I said, and I even didn't say shoes. I said, me and Ryan Reed and the boys might be going out because that was at the time when we were going back and forth between that and going to Ryan Reed's house and just drinking there. I was like, you should come to Ryan Reed's house and chill with us.
Right.
And you guys, it wouldn't make sense for me to say for you to act like you're there with me and you're my chick because I already told you guys the deal with Ashley.
Right.
I don't.
I don't,
Like I
like I
said, I
said,
don't
I
know
don't know if
if
the
the
propositioning was going on before or after that happened. To be honest,
I
I
just
just
know
know
I knew
Yeah,
I
about
knew.
the.
I'm not going to deny. I did give her that $50 tablet, and it was because she was saying she wanted to get her GED, and I was just trying to be a friend. And I
That's
was,
what
That's
it
but I
what it
put
was.
it,
was. But
Yeah,
yeah,
she
she
put it
put
over
it
to
over
us.
to us. I think that she needed gas money to get to the place to get her GED or some shit. I don't. And she wanted a bag of cigarettes, but I don't know.
yeah. So it's whatever. That happened. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, I wasn't. It wasn't because I was trying to fuck her. Even though I think now I should have taken advantage of that because she offered to. She will not fuck me, but she was saying, she'd suck my dick if that's what it took. I was just like, nah. If you're gonna put it that way, no.
All right, now, JV, how many times have you fucked her and never paid?
Every time, actually.
Too many.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
say that in my defense too. She's actually offered to fuck me without having to pay before that. It
before
was
that.
just, yeah, there were like, you realize she and I probably talked for like 6 months. She and I were on like she was on my friends list,
Hmm.
and then I saw she was on JV's friends list, and I asked JV about her, and he told me about her, and then I was like, well, shit, I'll hit her up then. So I fucked her for like 6 months.
Right.
And some of it was at first it was just about fucking, and then it was about she needed money real bad, so she'll fuck me for the money, and then yeah,
All
so
right.
that's how that.
All right, GQ. I have another question for you. It's pretty serious, man. I might get a little emotional about this,
If it's about the
but
current relationship, don't do it.
I heard that when you were in school, you were a straight C student.
You're a fuck. Actually, I wasn't. I was an F student, sir. I failed
You
miserably.
And
Actually, I
actually,
did
I
that
did that
too,
too,
except
except
for
for
both
both
times.
times.
Well,
Well,
actually,
actually,
the
the
second
second
time
time
I
I
dropped
dropped
out.
out was, because of some fucking bullshit, and I kind of was forced to drop out because everybody in school wanted to kill me. But first time I dropped out, um, I was like D's. Like I would just get a D just to pass a class, and then literally the last grading period. I know some people do quarters. We did every 6 weeks. So the last 6 weeks that I attended before I dropped out, I literally actually did all my work, and I was like made a fucking 4.0 that grading period just to be a dick.
Man, I will never forget, Chris Phoenix, us skipping every lunch.
Oh god, yeah, but I think we should save that topic for maybe when we have Ryan Reed around. And
Oh yeah, nothing like.
And the show has already been going on almost 2 hours.
Yeah, nothing like having 3 months, or not 3 months, 3 years worth of scripts of upcoming shows written down.
God.
Yeah, I've actually
still got notebooks that I haven't.
I'm not gonna lie.
I am going to toss them out because I need to get rid of some shit.
But
But
I still
have notebooks from high school with like a bunch of our old like GWA scripts.
Oh, dude, I want a couple. Give me a couple. I want to put them up in the man cave.
I'll find a couple that we actually of the shows that actually took place and put them on there.
But anyways,
I kind of took over JV's show, man. I kind of want him to butt in or say something.
All right, JV, you want to wrap it up?
Sure. One thing I'm gonna say is, if you don't like me, fuck you. If you like me, fuck you too. Goodbye.
But if you ain't about the money, you ain't about that life.
and don't forget this Saturday, March 15th, I think it is. 1:45 Fart Month, 7:30 Bill Time.
See, not even allowed a plug on my show. So anyway, hashtag JVF and Insane Lifestyle. I got the last word in.